Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and very rarely am I going to highlight a deal on an upcoming game as strongly as I am about to do. But this deal is absolutely insane, a game that I am so excited for, so the fact that I get to talk it up and get people aware about it, and the fact that you can support the game and save a little bit of money, I'm gonna take that opportunity to do so, and I'm talking about Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I would not be surprised if some of you guys didn't already pre-order this game, given that it's 10% off directly on Steam for $45, but Green Man Gaming is one-upping that, and you will get a Steam key for the game, so you will get a key it redeems directly on Steam. If you're an XP member, you will get the game 28% off for $36. Not only that, I'm sure as many of you are aware, if you buy your games from Green Man Gaming, you will not pay tax either. Now, this is a deal that is exclusive to XP members, so keep that in mind. If you're not an XP member, it's a little bit of a bummer. XP membership, you get it by literally just buying games on GMG. You might be able to get XP membership by just, buying some stuff. But most of you guys that are watching this video, chances are you are an XP member. If you're not an XP member, you can use the code APR15 for April 15th. That is, again, APR15, and you'll get the game for $42.49, which is a good deal, but getting it for $36 is just absolute insanity. This is legitimately... I don't want to spew hyperbole and say it's one of the greatest video game deals I've ever seen, but it might be on the basis that this is a game that's not out yet, and on the basis that this is a game that I just really want to do well. Look, there are so many people that are complaining, myself included, about these potential $80 price points in Mario Kart World, and that certainly will bleed over to other games. Don't you worry about that. But the fact is, there's a studio out here that's a new studio that's putting out an incredibly compelling brand new IP, and they are releasing it at a budget price point. It's already $50. It's 10% off if you pre-purchase the game on Steam. And now if you're an XP member, you're getting it for $36. Look, this is one of those games that I think everybody should pick up just to support the game. Again, new studio, new IP, a compelling turn-based RPG. I get it if you're not into the genre, it is what it is. I'm not going to hold it against you, but I think a lot of people would be into a game like this, and when you're getting it for this cheap, I mean, if you bought it directly on Steam, it would probably be, like $47, $48, $49, depending on where you live after tax. $36 here is just nuts, and you get a Steam key. If you guys are unaware of what the game is, again, coming from Sandfall Interactive, while it is a $50 game, if you take away all the discounts and you just buy the game after launch, I believe the initial launch discount will be lasting until May the 1st. It's a $50 release, and there's physical console copies for $50. It's still a big game. The main story is slated to be around 30 hours long, and then you have optional side content that is going to make the game even lengthier. And if you want a backstory into what the game is, it has you lead the members of Expedition 33 on their quest to destroy the Paintress so that she can never paint death again. Explore a world of wonders inspired by Belle Epoque France and battle unique enemies in this turn-based RPG with real-time mechanics. So, again, while it is a turn-based game that is inspired by classic JRPGs, doesn't have an anime aesthetic or anything like that. It really isn't a JRPG. It's not Japanese. It's just inspired by JRPGs, which is great. I think fundamentally JRPG gameplay style is something a lot of people can get into. And the idea of the game where you're kind of on a clock in the narrative, not literally on a clock, it's not like you'll have a clock to beat the game. I'm not a big fan of games like that implementing that mechanic. But the story backdrop is that Gustav, the main character, has a year left to live, and he's got to figure this crap out and defeat the Paintress. I really like the backstory of the game. The visuals look outstanding, and again, it looks to be a creative take on the turn-based combat, where you do have it being evolved on. In this evolution of JRPGs, real-time actions enhance the heart of turn-based combat. Craft unique builds for your expeditioners that fit your playstyle via gear, stats, skills, and character synergies. Open an active dimension in combat. Dodge, parry, and counter in real time. Chain combos by mastering attacks attack rhythms, and target enemy weak points using a free aim system. Tomorrow comes with only 1 year left to live. Join Gustav Mael and their fellow expeditioners as they embark upon a desperate quest to break the Paintress's cycle of death. Follow the trail of previous expeditions and discover their fate, which I think is a really cool element of the game. The Paintress, the whole idea is that she's killing off people that are aged at a certain age, and it's been going lower and lower. Now she's gotten down to 33, and that's why this is called Expedition 33. But as you go throughout the game, you'll figure out what other expeditioners and the expeditioners of before did and ultimately failed, and what was their fate. Ultimately, probably not a good one, given that the Paintress is still painting, but you get the idea. That's going to be something that unfolds throughout. And from a soundtrack standpoint, the game is phenomenal. Go watch that initial debut trailer, and they did a phenomenal job with that. Explore an enchanting realm populated by surreal adversaries, wander through breathtaking landscapes, from the Island of Visages to the Forgotten Battlefield, discovering secrets and hidden quests along the way. Find allies of fortune and creatures of legend, recruit special companions to access new travel methods, and discover secret areas in the world map. Experience the debut game from Sandfall Interactive, fully realized in Unreal Engine 5 with stunning graphics and a heartbreaking soundtrack. Yes, the debut game from Sandfall Interactive. To quickly go over the system requirements, not going to be too difficult of a game to run. You know, if you're playing it on the minimum end, recommended. Definitely a little bit more beefy. The game is very visually impressive. Intel Core i7 8700K or Ryzen 5 1600X for minimum, 8 gigs of RAM, GeForce GTX 1660, AMD Radeon RX 5600 XT, and an Intel Arc A380 for your minimum graphics requirements. 55 gigabytes of storage, that's for 1080p 30 FPS low settings of gameplay. Recommended Intel Core i7 12700K, Ryzen 5 5600X, 16 gigs of RAM, RTX 3070, AMD Radeon RX 6800 XT, that's for 1080p 60 FPS at high settings. So if you are looking to play a 1440p or 4K, max it out and get 60 FPS, you know, buckle up. It is going to be a little bit more on the difficult side to run if you are trying to play it maxed out at the higher resolutions, but if you're looking to do that, chances are you have a decent GPU. Guys, I am so excited for this game. You know, there aren't a lot of games that come out and I just desperately want them to crush it. This is one of those games, you guys, that I want it to come out and I desperately want this game to be a success, because so much in gaming do I see developers and publishers chase after the live service bag. You know, a lot of the same old IPs, remasters, so on and so forth, and all of that stuff can be acceptable in a vacuum. Unfortunately, we don't live in a vacuum, and it just seems like every publisher, every developer is doing the same old tired thing, and, you know, that's obviously hyperbole to an extent, but, again, when a publisher and a publisher like Kepler greenlighting, Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and then Sandfall working at it for so many years, it being a smaller scale project, but when I look at it, I can't tell that it's a smaller scale project. It looks like a big budget game, and I'm incredibly excited for it. This is legitimately one of my most anticipated games of the year, and the fact that it's available at this price point, can't do much harder of a sell job than I just did, but I just really want this game to crush it, and I haven't felt this way about a game in terms of wanting it to do well in a very, very long time. I always feel that way about, like, the Legend of Heroes games. However, I know that Legend of Heroes is ultimately going to have a ceiling. I do have high hopes for the Sky remake, but that'll probably be the next one where I desperately want it to do really well, but this is one that I just absolutely desperately want it to do well. But that'll do it for me. I'll leave a link in the description box below. Obviously, if you pick it up, I do get a little bit of a kickback, which is much appreciated, but let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.